My name is Rob Curto here at Liberty Bellows in Philadelphia, and we're really excited about the Roland V series. We have new arrivals of the Roland FR-4X, and today I have here the flagship V accordion from Roland, the FR-8X. This is a full-size digital accordion. It has no reeds. All of the sounds are created digitally, and it has 120 bass buttons as well as 41 keys. It's designed to be as expressive and to feel like an acoustic accordion, but with many more functions and a wide variety of sounds. So I'd like to give you some information just to get you started playing and to understand the basic functions of this instrument. Let's get started by looking at the interface on the bottom of the V accordion. Here we have an input for our power source, which I will plug in, and this will allow us to both turn the instrument on and off, play it plugged in, as well as charge its rechargeable battery. We also have here MIDI in and out and a USB connector for your computer so that you can use the V accordion as a controller for an external synth module or from sounds from your computer, which I think is a very, very useful tool for any musician. And here we have outputs for audio. The V accordion has built-in speakers, really nice high quality built-in speakers, so it can be played without plugging it in to any external sound system. But ultimately, playing live, you may end up wanting to use it through a PA or an amplifier. So here we have the stereo output. If you take an output from here, they're 1/4 inch. This is mono. And here we have a headphone jack for playing silently. So that's the interface on the bottom. Now I'm going to leave this plugged in. And now let's look at the face of the instrument here. Our power switch, you can see, is lit. That's the first button here on top. Now I'm going to turn it off. Right underneath it, this is a button for charging. If we hold this button, it's going to stop flashing and turn red. That means that the instrument is charging. When it's finished charging, this button is going to turn green, and then you know that you have a battery that's 100% charged. Meanwhile, you can turn it on or off as you please to play it. Now, this instrument has enough of a charge for us to continue working with it, so I'm going to unplug the power source from the bottom, and I'm going to turn it on. First, let's look at a few basic controls on the interface here. This is our volume, so if I raise the volume, both sides of the accordion get louder at the same rate. Here's a balance knob, which allows us to control the relative volume between the bass and the right hand of the accordion. Down here we have 3 knobs that control some basic effects. Here's our chorus, reverb, and delay. So let's examine how to select sounds for the right hand. If you look on the face of the accordion, we have 4 buttons here under the title right hand. It's self-explanatory. We have 4 different options for the right hand: accordion, organ, orchestra 1, and orchestra 2. If we select accordion, then we go up to here to set, and we're going to select the accordion set that we want. These are digital modeled imitations of a variety of different types of reed instruments: accordion, bandoneon, concertina, melodeon. Some of the names are, we have here ballroom, bandoneon, alpine, Cajun, Tex-Mex, Old Paris, classic Rome, diatonic folk. This gives us a really great variety of timbre and stylistic choices. I can see on the screen which set I've selected, so I'm going to select one, Old Paris. So now we have 14 different registers, and these correspond to reed registers on an acoustic accordion. different combinations of reeds that give us different sounds. Here's our bassoon, musette. Here's the master reed setting, which can also be selected using the palm switch. Or for example, here's another one, the clarinet reed. Now, we also have organ sounds. So we have 14 different organ sounds, which are totally programmable. This is theater. This one's called church. And what's really nice with the organ sounds is that I can use the bellows to create swells. Here's a Latin. Bossa. And again, these are programmable, but we have 14 different sounds that we can select from in real time. Now, for our orchestral banks, let's choose Orchestra 1. We're on the Old Paris set, and I'm going to select number 7. This is a guitar sound. If I press the 7 again, I get another option, chorus guitar. So that gives us 2 sounds per register. So it gives us a total of 28 sounds that we can easily get to on Orchestra 1. Now, if we go to Orchestra 2, we have another set of 28 sounds that are also programmed. For example, number 7 now gives us this layered jazz chorus with a vocal sound. And then I'll press the 7 again, and I get a pedal steel. Now, these can be totally programmed so that we can select the orchestral sounds that we would like to play with that particular accordion set. Now, with all these choices, we can set up a sound on Orchestra 1, Orchestra 2, organ, and accordion, and we can layer up to 3 of these sounds. The way you layer the sounds are by pressing 2 of these buttons at the same time. So let's say we want to layer the accordion and the Orchestra 2. So I press the 2 of them together. I'm on my Old Paris sound, and I want to select my register. So I press accordion, hold it until it blinks, and let it go. Select register 8, which is our master. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold down Orchestra 2 till it blinks. And then I'm going to select 11, which toggles between Juno brass and street brass. So I'll leave it on Juno brass. So now I'm going to have the master register from the Old Paris accordion together with this Juno brass sound. Now, if I wanted to have 3 sounds, let's say I wanted to add another orchestral sound, I'm going to press these 3. I'm going to hold Orchestra 1 down till it blinks, and then I'm going to select this vibraphone sound, and now I should get all 3. The accordion master of the Old Paris master reed setting, Orchestra 2 is on Juno brass, and Orchestra 1 is on vibraphone. Now let's take a look at how to select sounds for the bass side of the accordion. You'll notice that just as we had these 4 buttons under the label right hand, controlling our section options for the right hand, such as accordion, organ, Orchestra 2, and Orchestra 1, we have a similar setup for the left hand. These 4 buttons here give us 4 different options for ways to set up the left hand. The first option is the simplest, and it maintains the Stradella bass. allowing us to simply select the bass and the chord sounds from our selected accordion set. Each set operates like an acoustic accordion, so if I select the classic accordion, I get 7 different registers. So this is the most straightforward, basic way of using the basses on the accordion. These bass sounds are totally programmable. Each set can be modified and saved in a user bank. Now let's take a look at how to utilize orchestral sounds in the bass. By pressing the orchestra bass button, I can maintain the accordion sounds for our chords, as you can hear, but use an orchestral bass sound for the single bass notes in our Stradella bass. So you can hear it immediately goes to a bass sound that's an organ bass. Then I can use my registers to select other options. This is a picked bass, fretless bass, tuba mix, and the acoustic bass, a nice bowed bass, and here's one more fingered bass. So these sounds again are totally programmable. You can choose which 7 sounds you would like to have access to through the registers for that accordion set. Now if we deselect orchestra bass and select orchestra chord, we can do exactly the opposite. We maintain our bass notes as accordion, but now our chords are going to be orchestral sounds. For example, strings, super poly, organ, sax section, trumpets and sax, steel guitar, and an electric piano. Now if we play those together, they sound like this. Now, if we wanted to have both orchestral bass and chords, we can have both these buttons selected, orchestral bass and orchestral chord, and now we have a bass sound together with our piano. Now, right now, I have it selected so that I can change the bass sound, and the chords remain the same. Now, if I press orchestral chord and hold it down, it'll allow me to change the chord. So our bass sound is the same, but our chords are now organ sounds. And then once I have it set, there's sort of a limit to how easily I can toggle back and forth between the two. But usually you'd set it up and then use that sound, or save it as a user program to a user bank. So now our bass and organ, for example, sound like this. Now we have one more set of options for the left hand. We can select accordion or orchestral sounds for a free bass system instead of Stradella. A free bass system has all single notes in our bass and is the mirror image of a chromatic button accordion. So now if we select free bass, you'll see that our first 2 rows still remain as a Stradella bass, but our next 4 rows are now a free bass system, and I'll play a little bit. And you'll hear that I have all single notes, and if I want to create chords, I need to do them by selecting the notes individually. Different system. Now, if I leave free bass on and I select orchestral chord free bass, our first 2 rows remain the same, but now we have orchestral sounds for our free bass. We have a string sound, or I can select a different register, for example, a flute, or an acoustic guitar. Now, if I leave this and I also select orchestral bass, now our first two rows are playing a fretless bass, and our orchestral sound remains for our free bass system. So that's basically an idea of how to select sounds for the bass. And I'd like to show you one more important function before we finish up this video. So one of the most interesting and useful features of the Roland V series is the way in which the electronic sounds, the accordion, organ, and orchestral sounds respond to bellows pressure. You can hear, for example, if I just play a single note in the bass, the harder I pull, the louder or softer my sound gets. The way in which the bellows respond can be programmed using our menu option. So let's take a look at that. So you'll see that we have 4 buttons here. One is an up and down button, which is the same function as our little data wheel here. One is our menu, and one is our exit button. So to adjust the bellows behavior, we're going to hit menu. You'll see that we have a small screen here which shows us exactly what functions are being adjusted. Now if we use that same data wheel and we turn it, we get a variety of options. One is tuning, accordion edit, bass edit, and so on. And we're going to scroll all the way down to system. And then I'm going to press down on the data knob, and you're going to see dynamic bellows behavior. Then I'm going to press it again, and it's going to show us status. So we want the behavior to be on because we want the dynamic bellows behavior. And then I'm going to press the data button in again, and I'm going to get resistance, which controls the physical resistance to and how much pressure we have to apply to get sound using the bellows. Then we have our minimum volume. So this makes it so that there's a certain minimum volume and the accordion can't go any softer than that amount. And then here's our bellows curve, which is similar to resistance, but instead of being physical, it's an electronic adjustment of the way in which the bellows responds. Then to get back to selecting sounds, we hit the exit button. If we hit it several times, we'll get back to our main menu where we see our accordion set and the variety of different sounds that are being used by the different sections for the right hand and left hand, as we've shown in this video. So thanks for your interest in learning about the functionality of the Roland FR-8X here at Liberty Bellows in Philadelphia. We're real proud to be offering the Roland V series. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact the store, Liberty Bellows in Philadelphia. So today we learned about basic functionality, including power, how to charge the battery, some basic connectivity, including MIDI and USB. We talked about real-time effects control, including reverb, delay, and chorus. Some basic functions like balance and volume. And then we learned how to select between accordion sets, organ sounds, and orchestral sounds in both the treble and bass sides of the instrument, how to switch to a free bass system on the bass, and how to program and change the bellows resistance and bellows curve. Stay tuned for our next video where we'll explore some of the different accordion sets and how to use them for different musical genres. I'll play a little bit and show you some of my favorite sounds on the instrument and how I recommend using them.